Hello students, hope you all are doing well, and we'll discuss the next chapter after the completion of this chapter, Strategy of Industrial Growth 1947 till 1990. So this is the last day of this chapter. Today I'll complete this chapter. So in this chapter what we have studied yet, I am going to do a quick revision. We have discussed about the importance of industries in the country. More important is that why we are studying it. As we are studying the book Indian Economy on the Eve of Independence, so what was the state of industries, how industries developed, what were the good impact, what were the bad impact on the economy, and what problems the economy face in the industrial development. So we are overall trying to understand the development of Indian economy, and specifically in that development, what was the state of the industries. So importance of industries, we have discussed the 7 points, and then after we have discussed there was a major role of the state in the development or the public sector in the development of the industries in the country. Then we have discussed a policy implemented by the government, that is also known as Industrial Policy Resolution 1956, and there were some provisions, like there was threefold classification of industries, industrial licensing was there, and the industrial concessions were given to the individuals for establishing the industries. Then after we have discussed about the small scale industries. So what is its definition? As we know, in current time, if any industry whose investment is not exceeding rupees 5 crore, that is known as the small scale industry. But in the first 5-year plan in 1951, that limit was rupees 5 lakh. Then after we have discussed about the typical characteristics of the small scale industry, and we have gone through the points like it is labor intensive, so it can create more employment for the people in the country. There is locational flexibility in the SSI or small scale industry, so it is helpful in the regional growth and equity. And the next was small investment was needed in the SSI, so equity oriented, like we can bring the equality in the regions, different regions, by establishing these small scale industries. Then lastly, last topic we have discussed in the class, what were the features of the industrial growth during the 1950 till the 1990. So we have discussed all these underlying points we have discussed in the previous class, and today we'll discuss about the next topic. We'll discuss about the good impacts or good effects of this industrial policy over India. What are the good effects India faced during this reign of the resolution of the industries. So here we are seeing that this strategy of industrialization yielded the following good effects. So what are the good effects? So we are seeing the first point, number one, and that is highlighted, 6% annual increase in the output during the period of 1950 till the 1990. So that was the outcome of the industrialization in the country. There was about 6% annual increase in output during the period 1950 till the 1990. Then after there was a marked diversification in the industrial sector. The then Sunrise Industries, electronics in particular, marked its emergence in the domestic economy. That time there was a diversification of the industries has started. We were not only concentrating on the production of the like some heavy industries, iron, steel and cement industry. We were also looking for some diverse sector, just such as the electronic sector. The third impact, the good impact we have observed, that was growth of large scale industry like Rourkela and Bhilai steel plants projected an infrastructural shift in the Indian economy, and the Indian economy showed its ability to absorb the impact of the large scale industrialization. So by the development of these large scale industry, there was the construction of the infrastructure in the country, and it facilitates the other industries as well as the regions to develop themselves. So that is again a positive impact through the growth of the large scale industry in the country. The fourth point is growth of small scale industry made a substantial contribution in achieving the objectives of growth with social justice. Very important, as our country was looking for the social justice or equity, and along with that it also needed the growth in the economy. So when small scale industries were developed, so it provided the people employment, so like they were economically they were improving, and along with that there was the locational flexibility, so it can be shifted or constructed anywhere in any of the region easily. Less investment was required, and it is increasing or improving the economical condition of the people. So overall it is a very showing the very good impact on the economy. So what we have concluded after discussion of these 4 points, so briefly the overall growth pattern in the economy showed a marked thirst on socialistic pattern of society. Goals of 5-year plans or growth, employment, modernization, equity and self-reliance emerged as the key parameters for growth and development. So we have observed finally in 5-year plans what we were looking for the growth, employment, modernization, equity and self-reliance. So these all the key parameters or growth and development emerged, and these were fulfilling through the development of the industries in the country. In the same series, the next is your bad effects. When there are pros on some scheme, there are the cons also. So we will discuss about the cons or the bad effects of this industrial policy. So bad effects were as significant as good effects, definitely, and it is also important where we are lagging behind. So the first point was public sector monopolies gradually turned out to be a dead social weight. Inefficiency, corruption, leakage, and pilferage emerged as their principal characteristics. So by incurring huge losses, public sector enterprises lead to inefficient use of scarce national resources. So what has been observed in these public sector monopolies, there was inefficiency, corruption has emerged, leakage and pilferage emerged as their principal characteristics. Like people were not working there properly, huge losses have started in those public sector enterprises, and there was, we can say, misuse of the scarce natural resources in those industries. So there was need of some new economic policy, we can say, which can resolve these such problems, as only heavy industries were established by the public sector. So these problems were emerged in these public sector monopolies. So it was very critical situation in the industrial sector. The second is protection of domestic industry stimulated its growth, but it failed to achieve international standards of product quality. Definitely, and as we have no competitor in the local market, so we were not looking for at our quality. Demand was there, but on quality standards we were lacking somewhere. So lack of competitive competition prompted the domestic entrepreneurs to focus upon monopoly control of the market, and growth through competition and diversification was conveniently avoided. Like they were developing, they have no fear if there is any competition is coming in the economy, and there was no diversification also, like whatever they were producing, so they were not going for any new innovative or creative approach. Whatever is going on from the last few decades, they were continue with the same thing, because the reason was there was no competition, they were protected from the government end, and there was no foreign competitor. So they also not improving their qualities, and they were not doing any new research and development. So all the things were in a very shaggy, like a very stable, things were going very smoothly stable, and the product quality was somehow decreasing. The next and the third point is saving foreign exchange through import substitution was somehow our policy, but it badly or adversely impacted our economy's development. How? Rather than generating it through export promotion, proved to be an inefficient policy instrument. So what we have started, whatever funds we were having in the form of the foreign exchange, so we were not spending that. So that was only stored, like there was no increment of that fund or foreign exchange. Foreign exchange means the foreign currency, we all know that, we have studied it. So what was happening, we have usually closed our connection with the other countries, so we were not exporting products, exporting goods, so there was lack of foreign exchange somehow. So our foreign exchange reserves started shrinking, yeah. And by the end of 1990, these stocks reached their bottom. Very very bad thing for the country, as we are lacking, or we are at the bottom of our foreign exchange reserves. So much so that we had to pledge our gold reserve with the World Bank to salvage our borrowings. So that was a very bad impact on the Indian economy, as we have started saving foreign exchange rather than earning. So it adversely impacted the Indian economy, and that was the bad impact on the economy in this implementation of the policy. We have completed this chapter now, and there are the 5 questions you will solve in the homework, and I am going to send you the notes of this chapter very soon. I'll send it by tomorrow, and you need to do the 5 questions in homework. The question number 1 is saying, what is industrial licensing, how does it impact allocation of resources? Question number 2 is, what was the principal objective of Industrial Policy Resolution 1956? Did we really achieve it? Very important. The next one is, why were small scale industries relied upon to achieve the goal of employment and equity? Very good question. That was also seen in the, I have seen in the board exam of 18. The next is, what in your opinion are the bad effects of the strategy of industrial growth between the period of 1947 and 90? From 1947 till the 1990, recently the previous page, previous slide, we have discussed this 3 major reasons, and 3 major impacts we have seen, we have gone through. And the last is, what were the features of the industrial policy of 1956? So in the this class to previous class, we have discussed all the features, and that page was highlighted by the red, it was underlined by all the important, I have underlined all the important point with the green color. So I hope you can write this answer also. So these 5 are your homework questions, and you will solve them, and I am going to send you by tomorrow the notes of this chapter, and in the next class we'll discuss about the India's foreign trade. What is international trade or foreign trade? That is a topic for the next class. So I'll see you in the next class, friends. Okay, see you.